Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Well, breaking news. Nearly a year after Suzanne Morphew was reported missing, her husband Barry Morphew has finally been arrested. He's facing murder charges. Suzanne Morphew was she disappeared on Mother's Day in 2020. And I think Mother's Day, the next Mother's Day is something like, isn't it next weekend? So it's just less than a year that she's been missing. I mean, this Sunday, May 9th, will be the next Mother's Day. And one wonders what led to the arrest of Barry. Was it some particular piece of evidence? Was it really the passage of time? Was it just the whole mosaic of everything? Was it sort of a combination of what things look like, and also then the passage of time and things not resolving themselves? So if we go back in time, you may recall that Suzanne disappeared on Sunday the 10th of May last year, and her husband said that she went for a bike ride on Mother's Day, and that I think the original story was that he went on some kind of firefighting course or something to do with volunteer firefighters, and then it turned out that he was doing some construction work and his workers weren't prepared, and there was a smell of chlorine, and there was also some talk about late night Facebook goings on. I think it was on Suzanne Morphew's account. I can't be 100% sure, but that seemed a little bit suspicious as well. Of course, 10 months ago, Barry applied for guardianship so that he could dispose of joint assets that him and his wife owned in Indiana. And then not that long ago, I think it was this year, March this year, he actually sold the very large home in Colorado. And one wonders what was going on with that home. You know, it reminds one a bit of the Chris Watts case, where you also had a very big house. And was that ultimately a kind of a financial millstone? Did Barry feel that was a millstone around his neck? Of course, you've also got their daughters, and one wonders what they've made of all of this, what they've thought of all of this all along. It's got to have been difficult. So, according to the court records, Barry Morphew is facing murder after deliberation, so that's first-degree murder, that's premeditated murder, tampering with physical evidence, which is very likely to be tampering with a body, as we saw in the Chris Watts case, and interestingly, attempting to influence a public servant. That on its own is also very interesting. According to CBS Local in Denver, Barry Morphew was not in custody at the Chaffee County Jail. Apparently there will be a major announcement at 3 p.m. So I'm not sure if they've found something significant like human remains or something, but who knows, it's possible. I somehow doubt it. I somehow think it's not so much to do with human remains as to do with something that they found in phone records, or something that he has been doing, some kind of deals that he's perhaps been making. And of course, it's also the fact that Suzanne has been gone for as long as it is, and I wonder whether Mother's Day 2021 hasn't been set as a sort of psychological deadline by law enforcement. It has been difficult to know what to make of the investigation, to know whether the investigators were kind of passionate and interested, because you had civilians also searching and all sorts of other things going on. But we were assured last fall that they had more than a dozen investigators aggressively working on this case on a daily basis, and that's according again to CBS Denver. I think it was John Spezzi who said in July, until we determine what happened to Suzanne, we can't discount any scenario or formally eliminate anyone from suspicion. That may be reassuring to certain people, but I think that actually tends to mean almost the opposite of what it sounds like it means. It basically means we're not eliminating anyone from suspicion. And I do think a lot of people didn't believe Barry Morphew's appeal right in the beginning on Facebook. It was an improvement on the Chris Watts sermon on the porch, but not by much. And he did seem to be doing better than Chris Watts, Letitia Stork, and also Patrick Frazee. But as we see, you can't run away from the law forever, can you? Of course, it's, until the case is prosecuted, it's innocent until proven guilty. But it does look like there's some culpability involved, and, why else did this happen? Again, it's also interesting that this happened on Mother's Day. It makes you wonder if Barry was involved. Was Mother's Day just a bridge too far? It was a day that he just didn't want to celebrate, who his wife was. It's just quite interesting that was when the crime happened. And quite a few crimes do happen on kind of psychological milestones, whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or Halloween or certain holidays or a birthday. It's quite interesting that crimes people seem to be pushed over the edge psychologically because of this perception that I can't do this anymore or something like that. At the time, the version of events from Barry was that he was out of town. He was in Denver when she disappeared. And he said, "Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. The girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad." What's quite interesting in that statement was he's quite clearly planting a seed in the public's mind that someone else has taken her, that someone else is involved. And of course, he would later add to that by saying he thought perhaps it could have been a wild animal, or that she'd fallen off a bicycle, or that she was perhaps hit by a car. And that eagerness to provide all sorts of versions of events was definitely worrying. But still the mystery remains. What did happen to Suzanne Morphew? What happened to her remains? How did she die? Where did she die? And what happened to her remains? And so we look forward to a court case and the investigators releasing a bit more information on that sort of detail. So obviously I'll be on top of that. So watch this space. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Like, share, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.